Farmers Market Mafia for life. If you know, then you know. What's up, everybody? My name is Brad and welcome back to the channel, or if you happen to be new here, welcome to the channel for the very first time. Either way, I appreciate you stopping by and hanging out while I chat about a book today. And today I'm back with another book review, second one in 1 week. I'm on a roll. But today I'm here to talk about What Kind of Mother by McLeod Chapman. This is his newest book. It comes out from Quirk Books on Tuesday, the 12th of September, if I am not mistaken. So just a few days from now when you're watching this video. And I just have to say, when I got done reading the book, my first thoughts were just, what in the absolute did I just read? But I mean that in the best of ways. What Kind of Mother it is, it's weird and strange and bizarre and surreal. And did I mention this book was weird? Weird. Like really, really super weird. Like verging on the edge of almost being too weird for me, where it nearly lost me. But it kept me ensnared with its beautiful poignancy. It was like, I felt like myself, the reader, along with the characters in the book, we were slowly losing our grip on reality to float off into the beyond, to the vast ether of the beyond, only to have that final tether snap taunt to reel us back in toward solid ground. Sort of like a fish being hooked on a line, or to stay with the theme of the book, more like a crab being caught in a trap. Crack open and peel away that hard outer shell of weirdness, sticking with the crab thing, and you will discover this book is much more than just this weird, surreal book. It is a story about the strong and unyielding power of belief, the willpower of the mind, and what wonderful and terrifying things it can achieve. And it's also about the undeniable love and affection a parent has for their children. I believe, see what I did there? The belief thing, circling it back? No, okay. But I believe that if M.C. Escher, the artist, were to have ever written a book or a novel, it would have been this one. That may be a bit of a stretch, but that is the comparison that sort of came to my mind while I was writing the review after I was thinking back on this reading experience. And M.C. Escher, if you're not familiar with his work, he does these weird, abstract, sort of mind-bendy drawings where like the stairs will go up and they'll go sideways and come back down on themselves, and it's like a loop, and it should not work, but somehow in his artist interpretation it works. And that's how I felt about this book. This book is like this surreal, twisting narrative that seems to defy what our minds can conceive of as being within the realm of possibility. And that's where I made that connection. What happened to this book shouldn't be able to happen, and what happens in his artwork shouldn't be able to happen, but somehow it all works out in the end. Reading this book is sort of like wandering through this cold, dark labyrinth, through these hallways and up and down these stairs where what's right is wrong and what's wrong is right. But when you finally reach the center of this labyrinth, of this maze, get to the heart of this book, the center of this book, you will finally be embraced by like this comforting feeling of tenderness and caring and compassion. That's really what this book is at its core, wrapped in this elaborate package of weirdness. And Chapman, he eases the readers into this book, into the weirdness, kind of like a frog in a pot, or if we're sticking on theme, like a crab in a pot of water. And if you don't know that analogy, if you stick a frog in a boiling pot of water, it's going to jump out. If you stick a frog in a room temp pot of water and turn on the heat, and it slowly rises, the frog's not going to be able to tell the difference until it's way too late. And that's sort of what Chapman does with this one. So what is this story about? So we're introduced to the main character, Maddie. She is a mother who sort of scrapes by, makes ends meet by ridding palms. She had a daughter at a young age. Her daughter's now 17 at the time of the story. She moved away and has now come back to her hometown. She's living and working out of this motel room, where in the front of the room she reads palms, in the back of the room is where she stays, and she's just trying to make it day by day, trying everything she can do to provide and make a great life for her daughter. She also does palm readings at the local farmers market. Again, farmers market for life. If you know, you know. And I loved the ladies from the farmers market. I could have read an entire story just about those old ladies gossiping at the farmers market because I know those old ladies in real life. So I related to them, and I just loved listening to them talk and chat and gossip about everything that was going on in the town. But one day, Maddie is reading poems at the farmer's market, and she comes across her old high school boyfriend from way back in the day. His name is Henry, and he is a local fisherman whose infant son, Skylar, disappeared about 5 years ago. No one knows what happened. There really aren't any suspects. It's just this weird, mysterious case of a child disappearance. Again, no one really knows what happens. And that chance encounter, Maddie and Henry meeting up again, it sort of kicks off the whole novel. It pulls Maddie along on this collision course of finding out what the possible and terrifying truth is behind the mysterious disappearance of Henry's son, Skylar. And at first, it seems like this is going to be your typical whodunit kind of mystery book surrounding the disappearance of this child. But again, Chapman, he has other more nefarious intentions in mind. Again, going back to the pot analogy, he's gradually turning up the heat. He's gradually turning up the weird factor. And before we know it, any sense of normalcy has been completely boiled away, and we're in the thick of it, and it's too late for us. We're in the story, and now we're just in the deep of it with the weirdness. And did I mention the crabs? Yeah, those clickety clacky crustaceans, they steal the show at times for me with some just deviously delicious scenes of body horror that were great. And I love crabs. I love eating crab legs, but I don't think I will ever look at a crab the same way again. I just pictured, if you've been to like the aquarium, or, if you've seen them, on a shore or whatever, those huge giant king crabs that just look like armored spiders with their huge legs. Yeah, just picture that in some body horror, and one of the scenes actually physically made me shudder a little bit. And I want to switch gears just a little bit and talking about setting and location. And for me, this is probably something I place a lot more stock in when reading books than probably the normal person does, the average person, probably even more than I should. But I don't know what it is. There's this sense or this feeling of belonging, maybe. I'm not really sure how to describe it, but being able to connect to a place that I've never visited before through the magical process of reading words on a page. And there's just something about that for me that is almost even more important than the plot or the characters. This sense of place. If an author can capture a sense of place to transport the reader beyond the page to this tangible and authentic environment, that for me is where the magic happens in a book. And what Andy Davidson's book, The Boatman's Daughter, did for me with Arkansas and the rivers and backwoods down in Arkansas, Clay McLeod Chapman does for me the same thing here in this book. He pulls off the same thing with Chesapeake Bay area of Virginia. He brings that area to life in rich detail. It feels gritty and authentic, and you can feel the humidity and the brine and the salt. You can taste the salt in the air. He really brings this setting to life. And speaking of the setting, I have to mention the duck blind. And I don't know what it was. I'm not going to give anything away. The duck blind is important to the story, but just the very first mention of it, just the two words, duck blind, I don't know why. I guess because it is not an everyday location you see in a book. It was something unique and a bit different, but it created this vivid mental picture for me in my mind. And I don't know what it was, but it was so cool. And if you'll indulge me, I'll sort of describe what I pictured it as being. So close your eyes, sit back, and try to imagine what this duck blind would be. It's this weathered wooden structure that's rising up out of the brackish waters, draped in a cloak of white mist that will burn off with the morning sun. It's standing upon these stilt-like legs to tower over the wetlands like an ancient monolith. And I don't know why, but I pictured it as in being in the True Detective TV show, like season 1, just that visual style. We're on the river and we're slowly gliding across the water towards the duck blind as the camera slowly pans in, and there's some ominous music playing in the background. That is what I pictured in my mind at that very first mention of the duck blind. And if you go check out Clay's social media, I saw it on Twitter. I'm sure he's posted the video on like probably his Instagram and stuff too. But he's actually has some videos of the Chesapeake area and Chesapeake Bay area and some of the real life inspirations that went into the book. And one of the videos is of a duck blind. I'm not sure if it's the exact one that inspired the one here in the book, but it's one very similar. So it was cool to see what the real one looked like compared to what I envisioned it, compared to how Clay described it. So definitely go check that out if you're interested more in sort of the background of the book, what inspired it. Definitely go check out Clay's social media and some of the videos he's been posting about the locations and what inspired some of the settings and locations here in the book itself. Salt and Brine, Bones and Belief. What Kind of Mother by Clay McLeod Chapman is a skewed and unhinged Southern Gothic variant on a parent's worst nightmare. It's an emotionally charged and raw human drama doused in extraordinary circumstances, but maybe misguided at times, overcome by grief and longing and love. There's this palpable sense of genuine heart beating just beneath the surface of these murky, crab-infested waters. For me, this is weird horror fiction at its best, where it goes right to the edge of the weirdness, teetering on being too weird, but pulls you back in with the human factor, that human, beautiful poignancy of drama and loss and fear. That's what reeled me back in and made it just like the perfect weird horror story for me. But that's it. That has been my review of What Kind of Mother by Clay McLeod Chapman from Quirk Books. It drops on September 12th, I believe, so this upcoming Tuesday. Definitely check it out. This is my first read from Clay. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm very much looking forward to checking out more of his books. I have a copy of Ghost Eaters, which I hope to get into soon. I think I've got the remaking, and I need to pick up Whisper Down the Lane because I do really enjoy his writing style quite a bit. But again, that's it. So if you have read What Kind of Mother, or if you're planning on picking it up, let me know what you thought about it, or if you're excited for it down in the comments below. If you enjoyed the review, please consider hitting the like and subscribe button. It will mean a great deal to me, be very much appreciated. But that's it. That's all I have for you guys today. So thank you for spending your time with me. Again, my name is Brad, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.